If you love cinnamon rolls, and I don't really know anyone that doesn't, this is going to be the cookie for you. It is a cinnamon roll in a cookie, and it is so delicious, and honestly, it melts in your mouth. It's perfect for breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, anytime, and I can't wait for you guys to try this. To start, have a quarter cup of warm water, and I know it's going to sound picky, but about 110 degrees is best. In the warm water, place about a teaspoon of sugar. This just helps feed the yeast, and 1 package of dry yeast. Just pour that right over the top of the water, stir it a little bit, and let it sit. In a separate bowl, combine your flour, salt, and sugar. And then cut in the butter like you would any pastry or a pie dough until you get a good coarse crumb. In a separate bowl, combine your eggs, vanilla, and place in your scalded milk. Scalded milk is just when it begins to bubble and steam around the edges. And the yeast has been proofed. To make sure it proofs, just make sure it's foaming and comes up the glass that you had it in. Whisk that all together. Slowly add the liquid mixture to the dry mixture and whisk it all together until it comes completely combined. It will be a very shaggy and sticky dough. If you're worried, don't be. This is not a dough that you've ever worked with before. It cannot be kneaded, and yes, it is so sticky. Just cover it up and put it in your fridge at least 8 hours or overnight. That's what's wonderful about this. You can mix it up the night before and then work with it the next day. Once it's been refrigerated, take the dough out and divide it into 3 balls. You will notice that it is so much easier to work with once it's refrigerated. This really is when the gluten activates, and it is a different dough completely. Take one of the 3 balls of dough and roll it out into a roughly 16 by 12 inch rectangle. If it's a little bit hard to work with, just let it sit and rest for a minute and then keep rolling it out. Once the dough is rolled out, sprinkle it with your sugar and cinnamon mixture, just like you would a cinnamon roll. This is where they really start to smell like the cinnamon rolls. Roll them up as you would a jelly roll. It could be away from you or towards you, whatever's easiest. Just make sure when you put your cinnamon and sugar on that you leave about an inch border on the one side so it's easier and it sticks together. Once it's rolled up, cut into about inch slice cookies. You will see the swirl inside of it of the cinnamon and sugar, and it smells so good. I can't wait always to eat one. Place them onto a greased cookie sheet, or I love to use the silicone baking pads too, whichever you prefer. And bake them in a 350-degree oven for 8 to 10 minutes. They become slightly puffed and spread out just a bit. You do not want to overbake these as they could become dry and brittle, so make sure to watch them. If you need to do a tester one, that's okay. That's a great way to try. When they're cooled off slightly, remove them from the pans and then let them cool a little bit more on a baking rack. But don't let them cool completely before you frost them. Frosting is so simple. A little bit of softened butter, some powdered sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and just a stitch of cream, and you can make the most delectable frosting for these. Frost them when they're just slightly warm so it covers and just comes down the edges. These are best enjoyed warm, so make sure to serve them right away. If there are any left, I usually end up eating so many of them as I'm baking and frosting them. But if you need to, they can of course be frozen and kept so fresh for ages in the freezer. Just make sure to thaw them and warm them up before serving. These are always a hit at brunches, and they are great served anytime. Enjoy them with your morning coffee or after a great meal. These are going to be your favorite fall go-to cookie. Thanks for watching this video. To see more videos that you might enjoy, click over here, or click down here and subscribe to our channel to see all the great new videos we come out with each week. Can't wait to see you again.